Good morning and welcome to our Genesis Client Services webinar. My name's Amber Neely. I'm the Assistant Clinical Director here at Genesis and also Women and Children's Therapist. I'm joined by Charlotte Weatherford. She's one of our other Women and Children's Therapists. So we're going to be doing our parenting webinar today, but before we get into that, I just wanted to go through a few housekeeping items. So just remember that this presentation is for educational purposes only, so it's not meant to be used in lieu of counseling, and also consider your own situation and safety concerns before putting any of these ideas that we're talking about into practice. Okay, please be sure if you're watching this live to watch this, or even if you're watching it on YouTube, to watch this in a safe place where only safe people can hear it. Remember to clear your browser history after watching the video. If you think that somebody's potentially monitoring your phone or computer, it's really helpful to use headphones as well to ensure that no one can hear what you're watching. And if you're watching live on Zoom and you need to leave, you need to click end or leave meeting, and you need to click that twice and then exit out of the Zoom page. With confidentiality, we're asking that you do not use the chat feature on Zoom. If you use the chat feature, your name and comment will be seen by anybody who's watching this live video, as well as on our YouTube channel. If you leave any comments on the YouTube channel, your name and comment will be seen by everyone else who's watching the video. So just for your privacy, we ask that you don't do that. If you're needing some extra support, you're in a crisis situation, you're looking for emergency shelter, or you need some help with safety planning, please call our 24-hour hotline at 214-946-4357. If you're interested in counseling with us here at Genesis, you can give us a call at 214-389-7700. Okay, if you have any questions about the webinar today, again, we're usually just giving some real generalized information. And so if you have any questions about your specific situation, please feel free to reach out to us. Our contact information will be left at the end of the webinar. Again, we don't monitor or respond to any comments left on that YouTube channel. So please contact us directly if you need help. Okay, some hotlines that are helpful. Again, here's our Genesis hotline. We also have the National Domestic Violence Hotline. So maybe you're not in the Dallas area and you're seeking some support in your area. This hotline can help you with that. We also know that dealing with intimate partner violence and domestic violence within your family system can be really overwhelming and lead to thoughts of hopelessness or suicidal thoughts. If you're having any thoughts like that, please call the National Suicide Hotline. The number is listed here below. Okay, so we are still going through the book When Dad Hurts Mom, and we're talking about abusers as post-separation parents today. Okay, so this is what the book looks like. Again, Lundy Bancroft is a leading expert in domestic violence. He has spent years and years working with perpetrators and has put out some books in order to help survivors understand and navigate these really tough situations. So this book helps you to understand the effects of domestic violence, gives you ideas on how to help your children heal emotionally, guiding you and providing your children with love, support, and a positive role model. There's also some information in this book about court systems and custody cases and ideas on how to help your kids feel good about themselves. Okay, so again, the impact of domestic violence, we always want to just define this at the beginning of all of our webinars, right? So remember, domestic violence is the systematic diminishment of a woman in her home. So this is happening in an intimate partner relationship in which the abusive person is using different tactics to maintain power and control over the victim. And so sometimes this is threats of verbal abuse, physical abuse, humiliation. Within the family system, this creates an atmosphere where the mom is disrespected by the dad, her voice is silenced, she is bullied or treated like a servant. This is really confusing and distressing for kids. It can lead to some tense relationships between mother and child, right? If kid is always hearing, negative things about their mom, it might be really difficult for them to trust her, understand why dad is saying these things. So it can create some tension between mom and dad. And then also amongst siblings. Sometimes we see in sibling sets, one sibling is really aligned with the abuser and one is really aligned with the mom. And so there can be some tension there amongst siblings. Okay, so we talk a lot about how an abusive parent can undermine your parenting after the separation. This can happen indirectly or directly. This can happen during using visitation to undermine your efforts to establish discipline at home. You know, we see this a lot, you know, at mom's house, maybe there's a lot of structure. There's a set bedtime. There's a specific time when we're eating dinner. There's a time when we're putting tablets away, and then they go to dad's house and there aren't any rules. And so this can be really confusing for the child because now they're going back and forth and having to remember which rules are in which house. And this is also an effort that dad is doing to undermine the parenting. This feeds into tensions in your home by giving the child lots of positive attention and reinforcement when they speak negative about you to him. And so this is kind of him training the child to, okay, if I align with him and I speak bad about mom, then he's nice to me, right? And so this might lead to them having some of those behaviors. He might be telling them, you don't know how to parent. Oh, your mom is stupid. Those are bad choices she's making. She doesn't care about you. So really confusing stuff that they're hearing. And then they'll go home with you and maybe be, you know, arguing with you or fighting with you because they're hearing all of these other things. And again, he's explicitly encouraging them to be defiant or disrespectful of you when they get home. So he might be saying to them, you know, if your mom tells you to put your tablet away, tell her no, tell her I said you can have your tablet. He might be telling your kids things like that, or it could be a little more indirectly. It might not be that he's explicitly saying this, but they're getting this idea that this is how they should act. Okay, are you doing this one? Yes. Using children as weapons. Charlotte is going to take over.
Hey everyone. So just kind of continuing on from what Amber was saying, oftentimes we'll see that abusive parents will use the children as a manipulation tactic or as a weapon to continue trying to harass or emotionally abuse you. So persuading the children that you are to blame for the separation. So this can look like a lot of different ways that he can do this. This might be like him saying, mommy's really mad at me right now. I can't come home until mommy comes down. Or mommy doesn't want me to live at the house anymore. Saying things like that so that the children start to believe that you are to blame for the separation. He might have the children transmit messages to you. So he's saying, you know, go tell mommy this or that, and using them as a way as messengers. Pumping them for information about your current living situation, your finances, your new dating partners. Perhaps they're asking a lot of questions about, you know, what is mommy doing on the weekends, or where is mommy working right now? What did you see mommy buying at Target the other day? I'm just asking a lot of detailed questions, trying to find out more information about your current life and lifestyle. They might be returning them dirty, unfed, or emotionally distraught from visits, knowing that this is going to be really upsetting for you. This can be like leaving an infant in a soiled diaper for longer than they should have been, knowing that they're going to have a rash, and that's going to be really hard for you to receive a child that's been not taken care of properly. Frequently buying them presents or taking them on expensive outings to buy their affection and loyalty. So this is kind of like what we call the Disneyland dad. They're coming over to dad's house and he's got all these new toys and he's taking them to amusement parks and their favorite restaurants and doing all of their favorite things to really try to buy their affection and loyalty that way. Turning children against you through verbal conditioning and manipulation. So that's kind of what Amber was describing, the different ways, directly or indirectly, that they might be reinforcing disrespect towards mom, or kind of conditioning them to align with them and to continue disobeying your rules and your structure. He might be undermining your parenting by making his home a place with no rule, structure, safety precautions. Again, that was kind of like what Amber was saying. So this might be another form of Disneyland dad, where they know that at mom's house, they have to have a bedtime, they have to do their homework. At dad's house, they can eat whatever junk food they want, they can have as much candy as they want, they can watch inappropriate movies or shows that maybe they're not allowed to watch at mom's. It's kind of like a free-for-all at dad's. Having special toys or pets at his house that they cannot take home, so that they have to go to his house to enjoy them. All of a sudden he has a new puppy or a new trampoline, something that they can only use at dad's. Making the children feel sorry for him about the separation, such as telling them that he cries when they aren't there, so that they'll feel obligated to spend more time with him. Taking them for visits and returning them late or not returning them at all for days or weeks. Not calling them or spending time with them at all, especially when he's angry about something. Not paying child support, underpaying or paying late. Causing you and the children to become homeless by not contributing financially, by getting you evicted, or by forcing the sale of your home. He might be threatening various kinds of harm to you if you allow the children to get to know your new partner. That can be a big button with abusive parents. If they start to realize that their children are spending time with your new partner, you might see more threatening behaviors. Destroying their relationships with therapists. So they might be scaring the children about talking to a therapist. They might threaten the therapist directly. This might be through indirect manipulation. They send messages to the children that it's not safe to talk to a counselor or therapist. This might look like dragging you into court over and over again regarding visitation matters or financial matters, seeking custody of the children through the court or threatening to do so, kidnapping the children or threatening to do so. This can also look like being emotionally, verbally, physically abusive towards the children during visitation, especially when he's angry with you. As a way to punish or get back at you, he might abuse the children. Filing unwarranted child abuse reports, so calling CPS on an unwarranted abuse allegation, and promising to see the children and then canceling at the last minute in an effort to control your schedule and free time is another way that they can still try to manipulate and use those power and control tactics with the children. So we just wanted to talk a little bit about the role of a new wife or new girlfriend of the abusive partner and how this might impact his parenting. So depending on the new partner's views on children, if she really loves children, maybe this is an abusive parent that has been really uninvolved, they haven't been spending a lot of time with the children, and now all of a sudden that they're dating this new partner that loves children, he's wanting to re-engage, he's wanting to spend time with them, he's wanting to show her how terrific of a dad he is. If this is a partner that doesn't like children particularly, or maybe is supporting him in being verbally abusive towards the children, that could also impact his parenting. Her perceptions of you we can assume are going to be largely distorted because her perception is based on only what he's telling her, and we can imagine that that's not necessarily true information. So she's going to have a very distorted view of the kind of person that you are, and just know that. He might enlist his new partner as an ally. She might also try to cause conflict or be emotionally, verbally abusive towards you. And he's likely blaming his explosiveness towards her on you. So this might look like, I've just been so hurt in the past by my ex-partner that these angry outbursts are because it's reminding me of those past experiences and those past injustices that I've had. And so he's blaming their current problems on you, essentially. What can you do? Do your very best to not hate this new partner, knowing that she is most likely being manipulated by his tactics as well. Keeping as much as you can, being as pleasant and reasonable with this partner. This way it will reduce conflict, and it also might over time start to show this partner that you are not who he's saying that you are. Put agreements in writing as much as possible. If it's safe, speak with this partner directly, face to face, or through maybe a letter that you can write this person so that they can hear your side directly and hear from you. And if you have mutual friends or acquaintances, if it's a small community, maybe you can send some sort of messages of peace, messages of intent to build bridges, that your intention is to co-parent and create a healthy line of communication between all caregivers. I'm going to pass it back over to Amber now. We'll talk about what you can do.
Thanks, Charlotte. Yes, so let's look at what we can do. So again, we want to avoid pushing your children and their father towards each other, right? And so that means that we're not, we want to be mindful about talking badly about him in front of the kids so that we're not pushing them to be more aligned with dad. You want to limit contact between children and their father if you find it necessary. You know, if the dialogue between the child and father is becoming, you know, verbally abusive or extremely distressing to the child, or you're seeing, you know, really extreme shifts in their behaviors after these interactions, you know, definitely seek some legal advice and seek some professional assistance for your child, and continue working on your relationship with your child, right? Maintaining closeness and healthy and open communication, really looking for some moment of connection, right? Spend time playing with your child. Get down on their level and spend time with them, whether that's watching a movie together, or maybe you only have 15 minutes, so you're maybe just drawing a picture together, right? Really try to find these moments where you guys can connect. Remember, it's important too for kids, consistency and setting clear and firm limits. So if you are in a situation in which they're going back and forth, it is really confusing for them. And so, you know, maybe giving them a little bit of grace on that first day back from dad's, and then easing them back into being at your house, because it is tricky to go back and forth. And then admit when you're wrong and model apologizing, right? As a mom, like, you're going to make mistakes and that's perfectly fine. You know, just admitting mom made a mistake and I'm sorry. And that's teaching them how to take responsibility for their actions. Some other things, teaching your kids about some skills and critical thinking, you know, seeking positive male role models for your children, not speaking badly to the children about their father. But if they are having concerns, you definitely get to validate those concerns. Prepare for a legal battle, even if you don't think one is coming. You know, we know that abusive partners will use the criminal justice system or the legal system to continue perpetrating that abuse. And so, you know, just doing some research and being prepared for some of that. Use resources when appropriate and help your children heal from the abuse that they've witnessed. So this is probably going to be through their relationship with you, but also through counseling as well. So remember, thank you so much for being here. You know, we know that this is a hard situation for a family to go through. And so taking the time to watch these webinars is a really brave step towards healing for yourself and your family. And just remembering that, you know, how important your role as a mother is, because mothers hold their children's hands for a short while, but their hearts forever. So here's our contact information. Please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions or concerned about anything that we've talked about today. And we will see you on the first week of November. So now these are going to be monthly. So the first week of November is when we'll be back, okay? See you guys later. Bye.